Hi there, welcome to iTWireTV. Today we have special guest Geoff Schomburgk, Regional Vice President for Asia Pacific and Japan at Yubico. Thanks for joining us, Geoff.
Great, thanks, David.
Yeah, so I guess by way of introduction, in an era of escalating cyber threats and data breaches, the limitations of traditional passwords have become glaringly apparent. And recognising the need for more robust and user-friendly authentication methods, major technology players like Google and Apple have recently announced their support for passkeys, which are a pivotal step towards achieving a passwordless future. So Geoff is here from Yubico and is going to help us understand how big tech is embracing a passwordless future. So I'm really excited to learn more about this, Geoff. Thanks for being with us.
Great, yeah, happy to share.
Yeah, so I guess the start, why are passwords? We've been using passwords for 50, 60, since the advent of we've been using passwords, but why are they no longer sufficient for ensuring, robust digital security? And in fact, how have passwords actually contributed to the rise of cyber attacks?
Yeah, you're right. We've been using passwords for over 50 years, 60 years, thereabouts. But research that we've done consistently shows that 90% or thereabouts of data breaches are as a result of stolen login credentials. That is our username and our password. And a study that Yubico did just last year showed that even in Australia here, that over 60% of people are still using username and password as the only means to protect their online accounts. So, there's obviously an expectation that that's okay and nothing will happen to me, even despite some of the reasonably high-profile data breaches that we've had. And these credentials, our username and password, are what the cyber criminals are looking for to get access to our digital identity, acquiring that through phishing attacks. We've had constantly getting email links and SMSs to go and click on this to do something. And those methods are getting more and more sophisticated. So we can't rely on username and password alone anymore. That's really the essence of the challenge. And passwords are just not sufficient to keep us safe online.
Yeah. And when we talk about passkeys, just for clarity, we're talking about physical hardware devices. Is that correct?
A passkey can be, and typically is, what the industry will call a security key, such as a YubiKey. But there are iterations of passkeys that are becoming software-bound or copyable credentials. But a passkey is all based on the FIDO standard, Fast Identity Online, the FIDO2 protocol for strong phishing-resistant authentication.
Okay, excellent. And I guess, what does it mean? Can you shed light on the significance of Google and Apple giving their support for passkeys and their shift towards these more advanced user-centric methods? What does that mean?
Yeah, look, it's been going on for 10 or so years now, and Yubico back in 2012 with Google actually invented the first FIDO protocol, the FIDO Universal Second Factor, FIDO1 if we call it. And that was really the first passkey solution, if you like. So it's been around for a while. But the announcements from the other tech companies, and you say notably Google and Apple and Microsoft now coming together, and they announced back in, I think it was October last year, their combined support for passkeys, or getting rid of passwordless, getting rid of passwords and making secure login something that we can all rely on. So that's significant because those three players alone represent about 90% of the operating systems market that we all use for the applications and services. So if they're behind it, it means that the industry is really going to take this forward and treat it seriously. So I think that's the significance of it, that for the first time we've had the three giants come together and say, yes, we're going to do this.
Yeah, fantastic. And just to, understand the technology a bit better, so you've mentioned that passkeys can be a software-based thing, but I guess, are you able to break down in a sort of a nutshell what FIDO actually means and what the passkeys means? I guess for the end user, what does this mean in terms of how it practically works?
Yeah. Look, in simple terms, a passkey is a simple and secure way to log into our application and websites. What sits behind that, the technical people might want to know more. It's an outcome of the work of the FIDO Alliance. I said Yubico and Google started that, and the industry's come together to form this alliance to develop this technology. And the standard that underpins that is the FIDO2 or WebAuthn standard, that is basically resulted in what we have with phishing-resistant authentication today. So to say a FIDO2 WebAuthn credential is a bit of a mouthful. So the industry is adopting a term that we can at least be familiar with, the term passkey. So we're all familiar with the term password. Well, this because you said earlier, Dave, a physical security key, such as a YubiKey, is underpinning that. So let's use the term passkey instead of password. So that's really the essence of what it is, and they work by giving you a secure login to your applications and services, so that you don't need to have a password. So we're moving it to multi-factor authentication, something that you have, which is the passkey, something that you know, which can be the PIN to unlock that credential. So that's the evolution of it. And look, the technical guys can go into a lot more depth, and there's lots of resources out there for people if they want to know how this works technically.
Yeah, brilliant. No, I appreciate that. That's wonderful. And Geoff, we're talking in September. It's nearly October, and October is Cyber Awareness Month, as we know. Yeah. So
Yes.
very relevant topics. And I suppose how important then, with everything you've said, how important are passkeys in making secure logins more accessible to a wider audience?
Yeah. Look, obviously we think they're super critical. We want to move away from passwords. Yubico's mission is to make the internet safe for everyone, and so moving away from passwords and having strong logins and authentication is part of that. So we're very proud and strongly supporting the adoption of passkeys, and making it available to a wider audience. This is what the FIDO Alliance did, is it came together and said, look, we need to design something that is super secure, that cannot be phished. We need to make it super easy for people to use, think about passwordless, and we need to make it available at global scale. So making it available at scale is the wider audience. And the tech giants coming together, and as I said, 90% of what we use in our online world is supported by Apple, Google, and Microsoft. So we can start to see that vision is starting to become a bit more of a reality. And at Yubico, we're pretty proud of the role that we've played in that.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'm sold. And actually, Geoff, talk to security experts. They always say, look, the fundamentals of security, before you even think about many more advanced and costly things, get your password hygiene right, start using multi-factor authentication, start
Yeah.
using. I mean, what besides telling people over and over, what can we do to get people to start using passkeys?
Yeah. So I like to think of it about supply and demand. So if on the supply side of the industry, that's the tech giants, and we've come together and we've made this technology available. So the issue then becomes more on the demand side. Us as users, how do we encourage adoption? And that's the question. How do we get more people using that? So we see that from Yubico in three parts. There's influence, educate, and enable. So influence, the role that we've played with policymakers and government bodies such as the Essential 8 with the Australian Cybersecurity Centre. So we've been working with them, and they upgraded their advice late last year around authentication. So that at the highest level of maturity level 3, you need to have a phishing-resistant authentication. So that can be passkeys, or it can be the more traditional smart card, but moving towards passkeys that are that easy and convenient. So that there's a role that we play there around influence. Educate, that's what we're doing today, through your inputs and what we do at industry and presentations, letting people know that this is actually available, that it is a better way. So, making that knowledge more widely available to people, say, oh, yeah, there is a better way. Why don't we use it? And then finally, it's about enablement. And that's behind the scenes. We talked about making it easy to use and making it available at global scale. And so from a Yubico point of view, we're doing things with our services to make distribution, enrollment, managing that whole life cycle very, very easy. We know that password management and password resets is a big burden on organizations. So if we can take that away, enable the ecosystem to use this more efficiently, then I think we can get adoption going at a much bigger scale.
Fantastic. No, that's wonderful. And where can people go to find out more?
Yeah, well, there's lots of information out there. I would obviously suggest go to the Yubico website, yubico.com. Just do a simple search on our page for passkeys, or any Google search for passkeys is a good thing. The FIDO Alliance. So there's lots of text there, information out there available. But look, if people want to know more, that's why I'm here, to help that education. And I'm happy for people to reach out through you or to me directly. Not a problem. And it's the more we can get people talking about this, the more it'll become a reality, and the better off and more secure we'll all be.
Wonderful. That sounds like a great place to end up. Yes, definitely. Excellent.
All right, great.
No, well, thank you so much, Geoff. I appreciate everything you've said. That's been really enlightening, and I hope people listening and embrace the passwordless future with passkeys.
Indeed, go passwordless. It's a great way to go.
Yes. No, well, that's been Geoff Schomburgk, Regional Vice President for APAC and Japan for Yubico. Thank you so much for your time, Geoff.
Yeah, thanks, David. Have a great day.